All right, first up this morning, everyone is faced with challenges in these unprecedented times.
Yeah, but yesterday, Tiff and I had the chance to talk to someone very special, someone who's right in the middle of it all. She's in the middle of the action, and we wanted to share our heartwarming conversation with you. Take a look. We all know that healthcare workers, of course, are on the front lines of this pandemic, from doctors and nurses to all the people that keep a hospital up and running. We need them now more than ever.
Joining us from the epicenter of this crisis is Shay Lafferty. She's a registered nurse in the emergency department at Mount Sinai Morningside Hospital on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. She's also a Marquette University alum and former naval officer serving in the nurse corps for 6 years. We are so happy Shay is joining us to share her experiences and give some perspective on this very unique time in our lives. Good morning to you, Shay.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great.
Good. I love the Marquette shirt, Shay.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Thanks so much for joining us. I know that you went to college with one of our producers here, and you're there in Manhattan now. What's it like for you there?
It's been very interesting. As New Yorkers, we love to go out a lot. We love to be with each other, and we're always really, really close to each other. So having to not be next to each other on the subway, walking in the streets and the restaurants has been a challenge, I think, for a lot of people. But luckily, the New Yorkers have really taken hold of this and are really practicing the social distancing.
I'm happy to hear that. We've looked at pictures and video from around the country, but especially there in New York with so many people sick, and we see hospitals overloaded. What's it like at the hospital you're at?
So our hospital is, I'm working in the emergency department, and we are typically a very, very busy emergency department anyway. So as far as the amount of patients we have, it has gone up a little bit, but our acuity is always pretty high, and we're pretty very strong team, so we're managing it. It is tough wearing the equipment all day long, the personal protective equipment. It does make you very tired wearing the mask all day. Get a little fatigue around your eyes, and just breathing in your own air all day is tough. But we're making it. We are a super strong team, and we're in there every day doing what we have to do to make sure that everybody's safe.
We talked with one of our regular contributors, Ryan Jay, the other day, and he talked about the fact he used to live in New York and he was in such a small apartment, but you guys are in an apartment and you have 5 people in your family. What is that like being in such close quarters? Because New York is notorious for having small living spaces. Yeah.
So my 3 boys share a room, and my college-age son is home from college. He was back from Colorado 2 weeks ago. And they're all on different schedules. I have a grammar schooler, I have a high schooler, and a college student. So the college student wants to sleep in, the high school student wants to do something in between, and the grammar schooler has to be up and on a Zoom class at 9 a.m. So it's been a challenge. And then plus I have my normally traveling husband, who he's a salesman, travels all over here. So there's a lot of people in my house right now.
I bet it feels like it too.
Yeah.
Talk if you would.
On my normal day off, which I usually have a day, I'm working still. So on my normal day off, I get to be home by myself, and that's not happening.
I totally hear you there. As moms, we now never have the house to ourselves, and it is hard. I mean, until you're experiencing it, you can't tell how much. I would love for you to comment on the healthcare field. I always wonder about nurses and doctors and professionals like you. Do you think you worry more than others about getting sick because you're around it more, or do you worry about it less? And do you see yourself and others taking more precautions?
We're definitely taking more precautions. I mean, it's kind of been like a rolling, evolving thing. When this all first started, we weren't really recommending people, our hospital said, oh, no, you just need a surgical mask. And then it turned to the N95 masks. And now we're in complete gear. I wear an N95 mask goggles, a face shield, a full gown, gloves with every patient, even if the patient doesn't have COVID symptoms, just because we're just assuming that everybody has COVID symptoms at this point, just to keep everybody safe. So I feel pretty protected, and I feel my coworkers feel the same way. We're issued a new N95 mask every morning when we come to work. So far so good, and just the good old-fashioned soap and water hand washing, which we've been doing forever. We're continuing to do now. So I feel pretty protected. I worry for my older patients because they're the ones that are getting really sick. But for the most part, I feel like I'm well protected.
I think there's probably a lot of heartache that goes along with your job, and I can imagine now even more so, like you mentioned, kind of caring for some of those older patients you have as well, and that fear and worry about how this pandemic will continue to affect them. What keeps you going every day? What is it that for you makes you feel continue to be passionate about what you're doing every day?
Yeah, I think it's the same reason that 24 years ago I started working in nursing, is because it's what I love to do. I love watching them taking care of people and watching the process of them getting better, or if in the sad case that they're not getting better, being there for support. It's just what I was meant to do. And Katie, your producer, knows that my mom was a nurse, my grandmother is a nurse, so it's kind of our thing. And,
it's in the family.
Yeah, I feel really good about it.
It's a legacy.
Good for you. You're tough too, because I know you were in the Navy too. I'm also curious about what you miss most about Milwaukee.
Milwaukee, well, definitely Marquette. I had a great time at Marquette, really great time. I miss the Lakefront Brewery, the old Lakefront Brewery, not the new one, the old one that used to be on the corner, and you could only go in with 2 tickets. That was good times. I miss running on the lakefront. We used to do a lot of running on the lakefront with the Navy, and I miss that. I don't miss the cold.
Right. Yeah. Just like Lakefront says, one more, then we go. So one more. What would you like Milwaukeeans to know from where you're at?
It's we're in the midst of it right now, and it's coming quick to you guys. So please heed the warnings and stay home. Stay home, even if you're young, even if you're like, I feel great, because you really can affect a lot of people if you don't do the social distancing. So I say just do it and learn, go back to your old camp, games and bring me day activities, and just get over it, and then we'll be done with this thing.
Thank you so much for joining us, Shay. Thank you for your service as a nurse.
Thank you.
Thanks, Shay.